Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. I'm joking, of course. I put an Apple AirTag in your prison pocket. Nothing gets past me. Take a seat and listen to a little story. A story of tragedy, greed, and stupidity. Mostly stupidity, actually. There are a few things I enjoy more than a good dumpster fire. And there is a mighty huge dumpy fire that I've been watching from afar for quite some time. One that was released back in June of this year. This particular dumpster fire is called MindsEye. You've all probably heard about it. It's been making the rounds on the YouTubes with plenty of people ripping it to shreds. And, like a vulture, here I come swooping in afterwards to consume the carcass. Yoink! MindsEye is the hit new video game released by Build a Rocket Boy, headed up by the one and only Lezlie Benzies. If you don't know who this Scottish Giga Chad is, he was one of the lead developers at Rockstar, helping to create masterpieces like GTA 3, GTA 5, the Red Dead games. He's kind of a big deal. You see, him and Rockstar had a bit of a falling out, a tough breakup if you will. Supposedly it was about unpaid royalties or some other boring shit, don't care. But he and Rockstar eventually settled out of court. And allegedly, someone at Rockstar told him, "Alright, you got your money, now get the fuck out of here! Go build a rocket, boy!" Is that a real insult that human beings say? What? Anyways, that's why Lezlie Benzies started his own game company called Build a Rocket Boy. That is a really stupid name for a company. Okay, he thought, screw those guys. I'll go make my own video games. I'm the reason GTA was successful anyways. Without me, GTA 6 is gonna suck ass through a crazy straw. What does GTA 6 have that my games won't? God damn! Okay, but Lezlie and his company started making this quirky little game called Everywhere, which when it was originally announced was a total mystery to people. What is Everywhere? What is this mysterious game that he's working on? It turns out that Everywhere was essentially a platform where users could create their own games and cool user-generated content in the engine. But when trailers started coming out for it, people saw Everywhere and thought, this looks like Fortnite's abandoned, unloved, redheaded stepchild. Ew! So, Lezlie and the boys saw the writing on the wall. No one wanted this Everywhere garbage. So they pivoted and focused on a game that they had teased in the Everywhere trailer that was made from within the toolset, allegedly. MindsEye. They showed a very brief snippet of this game in their Everywhere trailer. What's this? Suddenly we went from cartoonish graphics to realistic graphics? And is that Lincoln Clay from Mafia 3? Is that a car from the studio with Lezlie Benzies, the guy who helped make the car game? Oh shit!
Now, this is epic.
So with the lukewarm, more like piss-warm, reception to Everywhere, it was full steam ahead on making MindsEye. Now, as a big middle finger to Rockstar, Lezlie was going to make the ultimate GTA killer. And let me tell you, I knew this game was going to be special the moment I laid eyes on the initial trailer.
Welcome to Red Rock. Man, is it always this hot? You'll get used to it. Sort of. Not really.
Oh, I could just smell the stank from here, let me tell you. It smelled like moldy, fermented, clobbered milk that had been left out in the Nevada sun for 3 days. Okay, that was just... okay, I'm taking that out of the script. The marketing for this game was absolutely abysmal. They didn't really show any gameplay for most of the time leading up to launch. No one really knew what the game was about, how it was going to play, or why they should care. All we knew was that the absolute Giga Chad himself, Lezlie Benzies, was making it. There was no way that someone who was involved with the creation of the GTA games could possibly make a bad GTA-like game. Right? Right. It's not possible. Get out of my damn face with all that negativity, you negative bitch. Eventually, gameplay was shown off, privately, to select YouTubers and influencers. Streamed on Teams. And they weren't allowed to record it and show it to anyone. They also weren't able to play the game. Well, what did they think about what was shown off?
And here's my general takeaway, and I know with my platform, when I say these types of things, they come with a lot of weight, but sincerely, this game needs to get delayed. I saw so many bugs in this preview. And I've been doing this half my life. Like, I've seen previews in a good state. I've seen previews in a bad state. This is up there with some of the worst I've seen.
Oof! Yeah, the game was looking rough in the previews that were shown off, to say the least. Horrible frame rate, cookie-cutter third-person shooting. The person who was previewing the game had to turn on God mode to not die because the game wasn't balanced properly and there were too many enemies. After these content creators shared their thoughts on the preview, the co-CEO of the company ended up replying to someone on their official Discord server for the game, basically implying that anyone talking badly about the game was paid to do so by Rockstar. Yikes. Yeah, it was a shit show to say the least, but hey, whatever. It was just a bad preview. You think you could do better? Surely the game will be fine by the time it launches in June, right? No. MindsEye was an absolute disaster and is easily the worst game of 2025. With the player count currently only slightly higher than my IQ, and that is pretty damn sad. They struggle to hit double-digit player numbers on any given day. The game is dead only a few months after launch, and it was supposed to be the GTA 6 killer. Why did this game die so quickly? Forgive me, for I have not actually played the game myself. I refused to give them my money. Surely you understand. But I have looked into it extensively, and sometimes you don't have to play a game to know why it's bad, you know? If a chef walks out of the kitchen and places a hot steaming bowl of Shrek sewage soup on your table, you're not gonna go, well, I should at least take a gulp before I judge. Nah, you're gonna throw that bowl at the chef and refuse to pay. This is why I'm banned from Applebee's. Anyways, let's proceed. Well, first of all, MindsEye's story is a pretty jumbled up, uninteresting mess. It follows the absolute Giga Chad Alex Hernandez's character, Jacob Diaz. Diaz is a generic tough military guy, and that is basically his entire personality. And he has a neural implant in his head called the MindsEye. Ooh, that's from the title! This goofy-ass chip in his head has affected his memory, so he has amnesia surrounding a mission where his team went into some ancient Egypt-looking-ass alien temple. These aliens took control of Diaz's drone, and his whole squad got absolutely cooked. Oh, I'm sorry. Spoilers? You don't find out that it's aliens until near the end of the game. But no shit, it's aliens. It's always aliens. Interdimensional alien beings in this case, whatever. The most basic-ass, boring-ass answer to a mystery in any story. Anywho, to try to get to the bottom of his memory issues, Jacob decides to get a job as security at the Silva Corporation, the company who made the MindsEye. He works under the supervision of this generic-ass boss lady, Rigby. He becomes an errand boy and helps out not Elon Musk, Marco Silva. Marco is a quirky, dim-witted billionaire guy who makes not Tesla cars and robotic humanoids. He even made robotic law enforcement that you see around the game. Sometimes. Yeah, just sometimes. Because there is no actual law enforcement mechanic in this game. No wanted system at all. You can shoot up every NPC you see, and so long as the game doesn't give you a mission fail screen, you can just keep doing this, with no repercussions. So Jacob keeps working for this company, and he ends up fighting a bunch of mercenary dudes called the Red Sands, whose leader knows Jacob and also has a MindsEye implant. Ooh! There's a totally quirky weirdo loner scientist guy named Morrison who actually made the MindsEye implant and has a robot fetish.
Well, looks like Lily's almost finished.
No time to sleep. She is the next step of our evolution. Lily is our true conduit.
Conduit to what?
Your kin.
I don't like this guy. I don't like him. He stinks! I can smell him through the screen. You know what? The story is just dog water, okay? I'm not gonna bother doing a play-by-play recap of the entire thing. I won't subject you to that. There's plenty of videos that have talked about the plot and all of its issues in more detail. It's just an extremely generic amnesia plot with boring cartoony bad guys right down to the big bad military commander. Nothing interesting happens whatsoever, and the entire mystery of what the MindsEye actually is extremely lame. It lets Jacob control drones with his mind. That's it. Whoopity-fucking-doo! There's a love interest that Jacob interacts with a grand total of 3 times and has 0 chemistry with.
Hey! Diaz. Got a first name?
Jacob.
Cool. I'm Charlie.
I'll be seeing you around, Charlie.
Before she's yeeted off of a rooftop by one of the big bad guys in what's supposed to be a dramatic sacrifice and a heart-wrenching moment, but instead it's just goofy as hell.
Charlie's down. Rigby!
Sweet Jacob.
Just stay with me, okay? Time to die, Diaz.
Me when the Taco Bell on the toilet. This is probably the funniest part of the game that's not even trying to be funny. I don't even remember the broad's name, and I'm not gonna look it up. I think it's like Stanky Dan or something. What's funny is that the evil villain that she tackled off of the roof comes back later in the game totally fine. So they just wanted to write this chick out of the game with a half-assed sacrifice, but still wanted to have their secondary antagonist. Another thing in the story and writing department, the dialogue in this game is just absolute, unfiltered, unflavored piss. And you know how I feel about unflavored piss. I mean, take this exchange for example. At some point in the story, Marco Silva's assistant, Claudia, who you barely interact with, ends up betraying Silva and has been working with the bad guys. Oh snap! She takes Jacob on a dumbass chase through the city, and the dialogue is just peak garbage.
This is happening, and there's nothing you or your brain-damaged sidekick can do about it.
Not brain damaged, alright? Enhanced.
Whatever. He's not gonna catch me. You know what? You're boring me, Marco. You're fired.
Don't you dare hang up on me, you little...
Now then it's just the grown-ups left. I do need to tell you, Jacob, you're not gonna catch me.
Not only does she annoyingly repeat that Jacob isn't going to catch her twice,
He's not gonna catch me. You're not gonna catch me.
but her dialogue and the delivery of said dialogue is just obnoxious and reeks of the writer thinking that it was cool, witty banter.
Okay, what do you need from me to fuck off?
More like shitty banter. God, I'm not funny. No wonder they always leave me. Speaking of terrible banter, there's a Booty Cheeks side mission where you have to play tower defense with robots. Tower defense? More like... anyways. There's only one solution to this, only one configuration of robots that works, or else you fail the mission. But the dialogue that plays between Marco Silva and the quirky scientist Morrison during this mission is so bad, it makes you want to take an ice pick to the ear.
Listen, we prove these bots are up to the job, and we get the contract with the city. And you get enough money to do whatever weird shit you want. Finally make that ultimate robot you've been talking about.
We'll get that contract regardless because you'll bribe the mayor. Again, demoting me to second position. You don't even know how they work.
I have a degree in programming. Sorta.
You couldn't program a television.
You have to be subjected to this kind of auditorial waterboarding throughout the entire game. Speaking of which, let's just move on to the gameplay. It's the most important part, right? So what if the story and writing are ass? If it's a fun game to play, then you're Gucci, right? MindsEye is an action-adventure third-person shooter, much like GTA. A large majority of the game will be spent driving and shooty-shooty. So how do both of these function? Well, as for the driving, from everything I've heard and seen, it's serviceable enough, and it's probably the most well-designed part of the game. It's not GTA levels of driving, of course, but it's good enough. It gets the job done, which is a good thing because you drive a metric ass ton in this game. Most objectives have you driving for an obscene distance while listening to the awful dialogue for the entire drive.
Hello, Charlie. Back so soon. Wait, how did you get my number?
Listen, I wanted to wait until we weren't being monitored to ask you a question.
Go on.
Would you really have thrown me off a bridge if Rigby had told you to?
Maybe a very low one.
It's like they remembered that a lot of the driving in GTA's missions are filled with dialogue between the characters to fill the time so you aren't bored. They just forgot to make it interesting, or funny, or worth listening to.
First, you're a fucking charmer, Patrick. Second, it's PE4, not C4.
Whatever, at least I'm honest about my habits, Derek.
You know nothing about nothing, Patrick. I'm honest about me demons.
Hit the needle on the old head there, did I, Derek? Expression is, hit the nail on the head, Packy. Really, Michael? You don't think I know that? And Jerry was right about you, Mikey. Your parents must have been twins to produce a kid as dumb as you. I'm surprised you ain't got 3 eyes, no balls, and a club foot.
Don't bring my parents into this, Packy.
Instead, it's just exposition dumping. Because the developers just didn't know how else to convey the story to the player, I guess. One thing that ruins the driving is that they restrict you to this stupid Tesla-looking ass car for 90% of the game. If you try to get in another car, you can't. The game just tells you to shove a folded metal chair up your urethra. If you lose your car while wandering around on foot one of the few times the game lets you wander, have fun walking, you clown! And there's no map. So good luck finding your way back to your car, dumbass. What about the shooting? The thing you'll be doing for most of the game. It's not good. Yep, shocking. It's the most vanilla-ass, basic-ass third-person shooting you could ever imagine. I'm talking, this is early Xbox 360 era levels of bland. It's weightless, lacking any impact, with dumbass AI enemies that just throw themselves at you without any semblance of tactics or strategy. And the ragdoll physics are just depressing. You know what I mean? Good ragdoll physics can make or break a game's combat, and MindsEyes are just gross. You shoot someone and they just go, oof, and flop over like a stiff mannequin. It's just, ugh. Compare this to a game like GTA 5. You know, that game from 2013 that Lezlie worked on. The bullets feel impactful. You can tell that the NPC is being littered with bullets when you're shooting them. Or Red Dead Redemption 2, where they react and fall realistically, even better than GTA 5. Red Dead Redemption 2 also has an added element of slight challenge with weapon sway mechanics. Every weapon also feels unique and powerful. Sure, you spend a lot of your time in Rockstar Games shooting at enemies, but the physics and the feedback make it satisfying and visceral in a sadistic, kinda makes you feel like a full-blown psychopath kinda way. But it's fun. MindsEye's shooting mechanics are just basic, flaccid, and uninteresting in comparison. When you shoot somebody, they just kinda twitch until their health bar goes to 0 and then flop. How pitiful. The mission design in this game is just donkey cheese. Like I've said, most missions are a drive here, shoot enemies affair, which is fine. Most GTA missions are like that, but the problem is that GTA has good gameplay, and MindsEye just doesn't. Like your mother. Practically every mission follows the formula of having you drive a super far distance, listening to Jacob yapping with someone on the phone the entire drive, then shooting a bunch of enemies in a boring combat sequence. The few times the game tries to spice it up with an on-rails chase sequence or using a little drone to sneak through vents in a little espionage mission, it's all done so poorly. And throughout all of this, the game is constantly bugging the hell out. There are entire videos showing the ridiculous shit that happens every 2 seconds, and even comparing the game's mechanics to older games from the early Mesozoic era. It doesn't stack up well. Well, damn. All I've done is talk shit about this game. Maybe I should try being nicer. Positivity is the spice of life, or whatever. Is there something the game does right? Yeah? One good thing about the game is that Red Rock City, based on Las Vegas, is pretty neat looking. You can tell that the people who designed the world of this game at least gave a damn. The only issue is that despite looking neat, the city itself is pretty lifeless and devoid of any content whatsoever. That's because you aren't actually meant to explore it. MindsEye is not an open world game. The city is merely a backdrop for the drive to your objective. This is a linear mission-based game where you are strictly, and I mean strictly, prevented from deviating from the path the game wants you to go on. MindsEye is notorious for its mission failure screen, because you will see it a lot. If you deviate from the path the missions put you on for even a nanosecond, boom! Your grass is ass, buddy. Sometimes you'll fail the mission for no reason, just for existing wrong, I guess. Story of my life.
Okay. Thanks, Lars.
Obviously, the game is programmed like a moldy plank of wood, so it's probably just another bug. MindsEye is just a cobbled together mess that Build a Rocket Boy had to throw together in a rush after everywhere was clearly going to fail. Because who the hell wanted this "we have Fortnite at home" looking ass game? They had to suddenly turn MindsEye into a standalone game and get it out after GTA 6 got delayed to cash in and fill the void for people wanting something GTA-like from the man, the myth, the legend, Lezlie Benzies. Because he was obviously the main man behind the GTA series. He alone was the main reason those games were so amazing and popular. Yeah, maybe not. According to some former employees at Build a Rocket Boy, working with Lezlie Benzies was a nightmare. He was allegedly very egotistical and everything had to be approved by him. And any criticism of his ideas or how the game was coming together was a big no-no. The workplace was allegedly very toxic, and crunch was a big problem. It turns out that apparently a lot of the crunch culture that Rockstar was plagued with years ago came from the Big Benz himself. He believed in just grinding away to get a game done, even if it cost the developers their mental and physical health. Lezlie Benzies has also blamed MindsEye's failure on internal and external saboteurs, and vows that the game will be fixed and essentially re-released. Right. A No Man's Sky Cyberpunk 2077 style rebound, right? A disastrous launch that gets turned around and suddenly the game is awesome and super successful. The problem with that is that both No Man's Sky and Cyberpunk 2077 had really solid foundations. They were great games underneath the jank and undelivered promises. Whereas MindsEye is a steaming pile of llama shit that no one cares about outside of Lezlie Benzies' name being attached to it, and a solid 10 people are playing it at any given time. Even Alex Hernandez, the Chad who plays Jacob, has aired his frustrations with the game's reception. He's said that it clearly wasn't ready to release and that they should have taken more time with it.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of bugs, as a gamer myself, I completely understand the frustration. Like, there's no, to me as a consumer and as a gamer, there's a shared frustration in like, why would you as a company release something that seemed to not be ready in that way?
There is just no way I see MindsEye making some kind of comeback. Well, actually, there is one way. If Lezlie pays people to play it. That's about all I have to say on this game. What do you guys think of MindsEye and Lezlie Benzies? Do you think the game can make a recovery someday? As always, I enjoy reading your comments and leaving a cute little heart on them. Thanks for watching, and have a good one. While you're here, you should, I don't know, maybe watch one of my other videos? They're cool, I promise. Please.